Good morning, welcome back to episode 2 of the road to Osaka. In just 6 weeks time I'll be lining up on the start line of the Osaka Marathon out in Japan, so I'm really looking forward to that now. I'm currently on week 2 of 8 weeks of training. Today is Sunday, which is my Sunday long run. So in today's video I'm going to talk you through all of the sort of fueling strategy before and during that run, talk you through some of the kit that I'm going to use and the importance of long runs for marathon training. In my opinion, over the last sort of year, 2 years of testing the marathon distance, I think you can do loads of interval training, you can do lots of easy running, but ultimately the marathon is a long run at a considerably fast pace. As fast as you possibly can go. So I think, yeah, a lot of emphasis has to be on the long run, and in today's video I'm going to talk about how important it is to nail your long runs in the block. Today is 6 weeks to go to Osaka, and I've got a 30-kilometer long run at a steady pace. This morning I've woken up and had a cup of tea. I'm now going to have a coffee and my breakfast before going out for my run. I've got some jam and bagels this morning. I've also got some new bits to try today from Precision Fuel and Hydration. In Valencia, my previous marathon, I had a few issues with fueling and stomach issues, so I'm looking to iron that out ahead of the next one. The first things first, cup of coffee. So it goes tea, then coffee and breakfast, and then I usually head out the door about half an hour after my breakfast. So that's the coffee going over there. On to the breakfast. I usually have just the one bagel toasted with jam, a nice bit of carbs, a bit of sugars to kickstart the run. I don't like to have too much, just because I don't like feeling like really full and heavy and sometimes sick if I eat too much before my run. I'm also going to take a 30-gram gel with breakfast this morning as well, just to top up those carbohydrate stores. And also one of these chews, which has also got 30 grams of carbs in, which is just little tiny, like what's it called, like almost like Turkish Delight, is that what they're called? That's the sort of consistency it has. And I'm just going to take a couple of those with my breakfast as well. So in total, I'm not sure how many carbohydrates that has, but probably around 200 grams of carbohydrates before the run, along with my coffee, which has obviously got a bit more calories in, and then I'll head out the door. So this is what breakfast looks like. As you can see here, I've got my bagels with jam, I've got my coffee, I've got some gels. I'm going to take one of these, one 30-gram carb gel with my breakfast. I'm also going to try these electrolyte capsules. One thing I forgot to mention as well with my morning breakfast, I like to have a hydration tablet that I'm just going to dilute into about 150-200 mils of water. I'd like not to have too much water in my system before I go, just because again that can be in the stomach and sort of shake around a bit. So I go for a bit more of a concentrated electrolyte solution. That's pretty much it for fueling before the run. I like to keep things simple just so I don't have any stomach issues on the first sort of like 30-45 minutes of my long run. The long run for me is super important. I was recently speaking with a sports nutritionist, and he said that we roughly have around enough glycogen or glucose storage in our muscles, providing we've done a decent carb load beforehand, to sort of fuel our running for around 2 hours of moderate intensity. So if you're somebody who's looking at doing a marathon and it's going to take you longer than 2 hours, which shock is pretty much everyone on the planet apart from Eliud Kipchoge, you're going to need to prioritize fueling, practice fueling, and I can't emphasize that enough. Looking back at my previous marathons, I had a fueling strategy, but I hadn't trained my gut to be ready for that sort of fueling strategy. So in this block, I've got a much bigger emphasis on trying to nail that, see what works. So for example, today, if this feels like too much, then I can adjust it when it comes to race day, or if it feels like not enough, again, I can make adjustments. But yeah, I'm just gonna get all this breakfast in, and then in about half an hour to an hour's time, I'll head out for my 30-kilometer long run. Cheers. So moving on to all the kit I plan to wear for today's run. I personally like to have this set out, or at least in a pile, the night before my long run, just so that if I have to wake up early in the morning, everything is where I need it to be. It's a little bit of a tip, it helps you get out the door early. Today I'll be wearing the Coros Pace 2, that's my watch of choice at the moment, and I always run my long runs to heart rate. So today's long run is, I want to aim for around 155 beats per minute, somewhere between 150 and 160, so sort of a steady effort today. And in order to track that, I'll be using this arm-based heart rate monitor. This one's from Wahoo, but my favourite actually is from Polar. It's called the Polar Sense, but I seem to have misplaced that and I can't find it at the moment. So yeah, this one is just as good. Some people are interested in hearing how I film while I'm running, and the camera I use when I'm out there is called the Insta360 Go 2. In terms of clothing, we'll start from the bottom and work our way up. On my feet today, I'll wear the Mizuno's, the Mizuno Rebellion Pro, which is the shoe I'm going to be wearing in Osaka. So I think it's important to practice your long runs with the kit you plan to race in, especially the shoes. You want to check that they're comfortable, that they can go the distance, that sort of thing. Onto the socks. Today I'll be wearing these socks. These are my favourite at the moment, from a company called Shyu, S-H-Y-U. I usually would wear the Soar Marathon shorts for my long runs just because of their ability to carry gels in the front. But today it is 4 degrees here in the UK. We've got a little bit of a cold snap on the way. So I prefer to wear tights. These are Aero Swift tights from Nike, the new ones, which have a decent sized zip pocket in the back, which I should be able to fit in 2 or 3 gels, along with this little camera. On to my pants. Interesting that I'm putting this in the video, but I think a good pair of underwear is really important to avoid chafing. And my favourites are from Lululemon, of all people, and they're running briefs. On to arm sleeves. I don't know about you, but if you've ever worn arm sleeves, they seem to make me feel, I don't know, just that little bit extra confident and fast. And whenever I wear arm sleeves, they definitely feel like they give me a bit of an edge. My advice for you for long runs is wear some of your best kit, because it will make you feel confident while you're out there. And if you're going to be out there for 2 or 3 hours, you want to be wearing some quality kit. So yeah, the Nike Aero Swift arm sleeves I will pair up with this t-shirt. I usually would wear a singlet, a vest, but again today's a little bit colder, so I've gone for this Tracksmith t-shirt. It's a little bit thicker than some of my other t-shirts, so it should keep me warm. It's a very, very comfortable t-shirt, one of my favourites at the moment, so I'll pair that with the arm sleeves. And yeah, I know this shirt is comfortable and it should go the distance. That is it for the kit. Time to get changed. There we go, that's better. In the kit. Oh, I love an arm sleeve. But yeah, I'm gonna go get my shoes on and then yeah, get ready to head out the door. So I'm all set to go, just about to lace up these, the Wave Rebellion Pro from Mizuno. These are the shoes that I'm going to be wearing to do the Osaka Marathon in. I've really been enjoying them over the last sort of 2 or 3 months of testing, and today's run will take the shoe over 100 miles, so expect a full review of this shoe coming very, very soon. I think it comes out in February time. I'm also going to be wearing a Team Varga cap today. This one is from their Fell Running collection, which is actually waterproof. So if it rains out there on the run today, my head should stay nice and dry. And if you'd like to pick up a hat from Team Varga, then you can do so by using my discount code, which gets you 15% off. Ben is running 15, and they are also doing free international shipping on orders over £50. These are my favourite running caps, really, really good, high quality. And it'll be a good test for it today. We've got 30-40 km/h winds out there, so hopefully it will stay on my head by the end of the run. Oh, hips are tight today. Just doing a few stretches in the kitchen before I head out. One thing I forgot to mention is with my watch, I like to keep my splits off. I won't know the pace that I'm running at, which I think is quite a nice thing to do, especially for long runs. It just makes them go a little bit quicker. I also don't wear any music or podcasts or anything like that for my long runs. I like to really dial in how my body's feeling, my breathing, that sort of thing, because ultimately on race day I won't have any headphones in. So yeah, it's nice to get used to that. The whole idea of the long run is to practice for the big day, which is going to be the marathon in 6 weeks' time. I'll try and keep you updated throughout the run today, but as I said, it will be a bit of a steady effort, so I won't be talking to camera too much, and I'll go over how the run went and the fueling side of things when I get back. Let's go! Whew. Very windy today, a little bit nippy, but I should be alright when I get going. But yeah, just going to head off now. See you in 2 hours' time. So I am 15 minutes into the long run. I'll show you what the stats look like on my watch. I literally just have heart rate there
So at the moment my heart rate's 155 beats a minute, but feeling good. Nice to get out here today. It's a little bit windy, well, very windy, but the sun's out, so can't complain, and it's a pretty good temperature for a long run as well. But yeah, let's get this done. So I've just gone through the 30-minute point on this run, still feeling pretty strong. This is the time when I need to sort of assess how I'm feeling in terms of energy levels. If I feel like my energy levels have dropped a little bit, this will be the time where I take the first gel. But today I'm still feeling pretty strong, so instead of taking a gel at 30 minutes, I'll plan to take one at 45 minutes. I think it's really important with fueling is to be sort of adaptive on the day. If you feel like you don't need any more, then don't take it, because you can end up having some stomach issues like I did in Valencia. But at the end of the day, it's still good to practice, so I'm going to wait till 45 minutes to take gel number 1, but until then I'm just going to keep cracking on. Current heart rate, average heart rate is 156 beats per minute, so exactly where I want it to be. The wind and the hills are making it tough today, but yeah, keep moving. So I'm 45 minutes into this run. I'm going to attempt to take my first gel. It's just down here. 30 grams of carbs in this one. It's a non-caffeinated one. Let's see if I can take it on camera. That'll be a challenge. Just rip the tab off. Oh, so windy. There we go, successful mission. First gel. A little tip for taking gels and fuels in a race is wait till there's a point on the course where there's like favourable conditions. Maybe it's a downhill like I'm on now, where your relative effort is lower. It just helps get the fuel on board, because it can disrupt your sort of like breathing pattern a little bit. So yeah, little tip there, wait for a downhill, get the fuel on board, and also don't rush it. I just take little sips over the course of probably 1 kilometre, maybe 2 kilometres. Don't feel the need to absolutely gulp it down in one go. So yeah, 45 minutes in, first gel. This run will be about 2 hours in duration. The next gel will probably be around an hour and a half, depending on how I'm feeling. Just coming up to an hour and a half. Average heart rate 156 still. So it's now been 45 minutes since I had my last gel. I'm now going to take a second one at an hour and 30 minutes. This time 30 grams of carbs, but also some caffeine in there as well, just for the last half an hour of this run. But yes, they've been feeling good, legs feeling fresh. They've started to feel it a little bit towards the end of this one, so yeah, this gel will definitely help now top up those energy levels to get this one done. But yeah, absolutely loving these Mizunos, especially for the longer stuff. You've got so much cushioning, they just seem to keep your legs nice and fresh. But yeah, half an hour to go, and then that's the week done.
So I just got back from my long run, 30 kilometers out there today, average pace 3:51 per kilometer, which is around 6:10, 6:12 per mile. A solid run. As soon as I get back from my runs, I like to have scrambled egg, again on bagels. This is sort of like a second or breakfast or lunch type thing. So I go for 3 eggs scrambled, just to kickstart that recovery. Electrolyte drink. I don't have the luxury of I don't take water with me basically when I go on my long runs. I prefer just to make sure I've hydrated before and after. It's not ideal. Obviously in a race I'll be able to take some water, but unless I drive out to say like 10 miles away from the house and put the water out there, I won't have any water on those runs. But it's not too much of an issue at the moment. The weather is fairly cold here in the UK, so I don't sweat too much. If it was a hot day I would go and put some water out there. But I'm just going to cook my scrambled eggs, get that down me, and then I'll talk you through the week of training and go over week 2 of marathon training for Osaka. So before I go into this week's training, week 2 of marathon training, which can be found on Strava, by the way, I just thought I'd answer some of the subscribers' questions in last week's video. As I said, with this series, I'm going to try to answer some questions from the comment section in the following episode. So the first one is from VSN. He says, looking forward to the new series. Considering your Valencia experience, what is going to be your fueling strategy in Osaka? It's a great question. So in Valencia, I think I took a gel every sort of 30 minutes, which I think was a bit too much. So moving forward, I'm looking at taking a gel, pushing that first gel back to around that 45-minute mark, but also just being a little bit more flexible with my fueling plan. I think in Valencia I was very much set on taking a gel at a specific time in the race, but for Osaka I'm just going to play it a little bit more by ear, try not to force the issue too much. But the main thing I'm changing really is just the way I'm practicing. With every single long run and double session day, I'm taking some sort of fueling just to train my gut as much as anything. The second question comes in from Scott, and he says, love the thoughts on double threshold running. A question with regarding to the long runs in this block. Are you targeting a specific energy system, or is it building miles to hit and practice kit and nutrition? It seems to be right in the middle of your easy/threshold paces. Thanks mate, love your work. Cheers Scott. So with regards to that question, I've chosen to run these long runs at sort of my steady run pace. And the idea is that yes, that fits right in between my easy and my threshold pace, and hopefully come race day that long run pace will slowly increase as my threshold improves, and hopefully it will get a little bit closer to that threshold pace over the course of this block. And then on race day, my marathon pace should fit somewhere between my long run pace and my threshold pace. Hope that makes sense. So let me quickly just walk you through this week's training, week 2 of 8 in the build to Osaka. So this week I hit 140 kilometers and total of 10 hours of running with 555 meters of elevation. Let me scroll down here to the bottom. I'm going to go through this quite quickly. So Monday, 12 kilometers easy pace. Followed by a double in the evening, 30 minutes at 4:40 per kilometre, 6 kilometres. So a good start to the week. Tuesday, my first double threshold day. My morning session was 2 by 15 minutes with 2 minutes recovery. And then my evening session was 8 by a kilometre. I did that one with my teammate Luke, and we averaged 3:17 per kilometre. So that was a good session. For Tuesday, I think it was around 30 kilometres of total volume. On Wednesday, it's sort of my recovery day, so I just did 30 minutes easy on the treadmills, 6.84 kilometres there. Moving on to Thursday, my second double threshold day of the week. 6 by 5 minutes was the session with 60 seconds standing recovery. That one was on the treadmill. Then in the evening, I did my second workout of the day. Bit of speed work this time with my teammate Joe. We did a sort of mile cut down session. That was a really good one on the track. Nice to do a little bit of speed there with some 200 meter reps, going down into the 32s for 200 meters. It's nice to get the legs moving in marathon training once in a while. Then on to Friday, I did 20 kilometers, again easy pace, 4:44 per kilometer. On Saturday, I did a park run with my little sister, 5:40 per kilometer average. My calf was feeling a little bit tight on this day, so I decided just to call it there with a 5 kilometer easy run. I did have a 10k double run planned, but I decided to call that there because of the calf issue. Thankfully, I woke up on Sunday morning, or today, and I had no issues whatsoever with the calf. And yeah, that's my long run for the week. 30 kilometers, average pace 3:51 per kilometer for a total of 1 hour and 55 minutes of running. And I was feeling really good on that one, so I'm glad I took the Saturday a little bit easier. And that is week 2 of marathon training for Osaka. Again, if you want to leave some questions down below, then feel free to do so and answer those in next week's episode. But until next time, aspire to run, run to inspire, and we'll see you again soon. Bye bye.